Alright, we reached the actual area we need to be, and we're gonna get a cutscene here in just a second, and then we'll do the battle, which is kind of difficult, I'm not gonna lie. Vidoc Hall. It's our buddy.
Not a soul.
Not a soul, said Mr. Loinoid. Oh, it's Cashua. Hi, Cashua. How are you doing?
Kashua? What are you doing here?
Come to my rescue? Such a brave knight.
And she stabs him in his gut. Just like fucking Vice did to,
What?
the Duke.
Why? Ah, there you are, Kashua.
Good old Dark Lancelot with the one eye.
It's dangerous here. We're leaving the castle. Come with me.
me. Blah, 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 blah.
My lord, I thought you were on the field.
Glad to see you still live, Ozma.
Sir Balsaphon awaits you without.
The hour grows late. Take whoever's left and leave the castle.
Sister! Strength, Leonor.
The time for strength past. It's in your hands now.
Man, she must have really got him good.
Leave this one to me. The princess must be kept safe.
You will have ample opportunity to avenge your brother later, Ozma.
I will show restraint.
We leave at once.
I'll show restraint. You're not capable of knocking her down low enough health that she
Joshua
retreats.
will never mourn you as I mourned Oz. Think on that as your blood wets these stones.
Casual won't mourn me. I doubt that, honey. Spent a good chunk of this game basically saying, hey, you're the only person I care about.
Joshua!
Anywho. So our objective is going to be vanquish Ozma. In this version, we're playing the neutral path. You have to kill her. You cannot recruit her. She's not recruitable on this path. She will not escape if we get her under 10% HP. If you get her down to 1 HP, she still will not retreat. So we will have to kill her. In case you're wondering, yes, I did play through this mission all the way trying to save her. I got her down to around 10 HP, realized that she wouldn't escape, which meant that I had to kill her, and then she retreated and got healed, and I had a couple guys that were knocked out, and they were too low on their counter. They were going to die, so I restarted this level. This is also, at least in the neutral route, the first time you see a Hydra. I don't think we'll be capturing it though. Mainly because I don't think I brought a... I did not. Good. I did not bring my tamer with me. Anywho's. Okay, so apparently, after looking this up, apparently they put out 4 or maybe 5 Tactics Ogre games. They say 4 or 5 because you have March of the Black Queen, Knights of what is it? Honorable Caliber or something. It's apparently different than the March of the Black Queen. You have the one that came out for the GBA, and then you have this game that's been remade 3 or 4 times. As well as one other one that apparently is sort of like a in-between game that takes place during another game. Like if you've ever played, I only know this from reading, I have never actually done this. If you've ever played Fire Emblem 5, Fire Emblem 5 takes place within the Fire Emblem 4 universe, but it's set in a time period between 2 events. So the whole game takes place between this event and that event, which, like I said, is set within Fire Emblem 4's timeline. So by the time you get to the end of Fire Emblem 5, you're not, you know, it's not parallel to, and it doesn't occur. It occurs at the same time, but you're telling a different story that ends before the events of Fire Emblem 4 would end. So for this battle, at least this is how I found it. You know, there are a lot of ice elemental units on the field, so you want to focus on characters that have, which I don't have a lot of, characters that have some variation of like a fire prowess to them. The bad part is some of my main characters, including Christina and Canifist, are both wind elementals. They're wind aligned, so of course they are not the best people to pick out for this mission, but on the other hand, they are named portrait characters, so they have better stats than their comparable brothers or sisters that are generic NPCs, or generic recruitable characters, I guess I should say. Anywho, so the plan is we're going to try to take out the these guys down here at the bottom, the Templar Knights at the bottom, as the guys from the left make their way down. We're going to try to deal with them with a combination of hopefully this Berserker, if she can stay alive long enough, and the Dragoon I brought. Dragoon's mainly for taking out the Hydra, but she'll serve as a okay tank to sort of kind of keep some of these other tanky units like that Terror Knight and the Paladin Knight from moving too deep into my squishy units, which are sort of behind this area, including my mages and Archer. Yeah, good. And then I brought my Fire Dragon in because as he powers up and gets enough MP, eventually he'll be able to use Dragon or Fire Breath, which is an AoE spell that can hit up to 5 units in a sort of a T pattern or a cross pattern, I guess. But you're good against the units that are clumped up on the stairs slash other units that are kind of hanging out around here. Another thing, as you saw there, you kind of want to space your units out as best you can. Otherwise, they will find where 3 or 4 guys are clumped up and put that AoE spell on top of them for max damage. And then I have 2 healers. I'm running 2 healers in this because I tried doing the 1 healer thing and it ended up not working out. So I'm running 2 dedicated healers to keep my attacking characters attacking and to have a backup heal in case one of my healers starts taking concentrated damage. I'm not wasting the Abuna's time healing the Abuna. No, they can heal each other, or they can combo and heal one or the other, or I've got Donalto. He's got what is it? What I guess I shall call haste. It's something. It's speed. It's speed up or something. Quicken or whatever it's called. So that's good too. So if I have the MP and I don't have any other use, I can still, you know, increase the speed of a character so they get more turns. And then the other one's got resurrection, so in case, as long as the lady doesn't die, we should be okay to resurrect certain characters if they were to get knocked out, die, whatever. So in unrelated news, we've reached mid-March at this point, and temperatures are starting to get really warm now. This is nice, because March can kind of be anything. March can be snowy and cold, it can be warm, it can be spring-like, it can sometimes even feel a little summery. And it can really change. So, like, you might wake up in the morning. This morning it was 58 degrees outside. And by the afternoon it had dropped down into the upper 40s. Why? Because the front pushed through. And it's not going to get much colder than that today, but, you know. There's a chance at the end of the week that we're going to be back into the lower 30s, upper 20s again. You know, overnight, I mean. And I don't know. I always complain about the weather because in the wintertime it's cold and I don't like the high energy cost bills, but it's good for sleeping. It's good for, you know, hanging out in your house, being cozy. I hate shoveling snow, but that's it. I only have to deal with that maybe 4 or 5 times in a winter. And then the summertime is just, it's just miserable for where I, you know, trying to sleep. It's miserable because, you know, I live in a small townhouse and my bed is on the upper floor. And that heat just comes down from the attic and it's impossible to sleep without some sort of fan to cool you off. I think like my favorite time of the year would be, you know, fall, like October into, I want to say October, November, and then like March, April maybe, depending on how warm April is. We've had some Aprils occasionally where you go from, okay, it's winter time in January and February. March you start making a transition into spring, and then April hits and all of a sudden it's 80 degrees every day. And it's like, what happened to spring? And it's like, well, this is part of spring. It's like, but it's not going to get cooler. It's not going to get cooler in, you know, I mean, if April is averaging 80 degrees, it's not going to get cooler in May, June, July, August, September. You know? It's just like, ugh. It's way too early. to, you know, not be sleeping with any covers on. And it's just like, that was that year. It just is what it was. Yay. So here's a yeah, let's not, we don't talk about that. Don't. I was reading factoids about you know, most popular purchased car brands in America. There's a couple reasons why. One of them is gas prices have started to go up again, which means that all of the big gas-guzzling vehicles, the people in America feel very proud to own their big cars and, you know, trucks, SUVs, you know, that don't get super great gas mileage. Though I'm told they're improving. And then when gas prices go up, they just whine and complain and bitch and moan. And they go, oh, the gas prices are up at, you know, 20 cents, $1. It's costing me $60, $80 to fill up my tank. Okay. Yeah, well, I mean, I didn't tell you to buy the vehicle, okay? Maybe you need it for work. I'm not judging. But, you know, if you're just driving around in a, you know, a high, I don't know, high-powered car, you know, a big luxury car, you know, that costs you a ton of money to buy and, you know, gets, you know, 15, 20 miles a gallon.
You will pay for my brother's death.
Yeah.
Your brother? The commander of the Dark Knights at Bode? You have his look. Twins?
2 parts of one soul. And now half of that soul is gone thanks to you.
That's an old-timey thought, is that when twins were born, they shared a soul. When, in reality, you know, I'm not gonna say they share a soul. I would say that they have their own souls because they're born into this world, you know, as a separate entity, so it would have a separate soul. It wouldn't be split. Like if you were a triplet somehow, you don't have a third of a soul. When you die, you have to wait for your other 2 siblings to pass away before you can go to the afterlife, you know. And the sort of the hilarious part is, you know, identical twins would be 2 children that started as one egg that split off to become 2 people. It's about as close as you can get to a clone as you can. But in case of these 2, they would be fraternal twins, where, you know, they would be 2 different, they would have to be at least I want to say there'd have to be 2 ovums, but I'm pretty sure that they could be 1 ovum that splits in half, and then they're each individually fertilized, but I'm not 100% familiar, biologically speaking, how that works. But essentially they are related, but they are not identical twins, because otherwise they'd have to be the same gender. So they would, even in that case, they would still retain their, at least in my opinion, you would retain their own souls, because they started out as 2 separate, you know, entities. You know, they weren't one entity that split in half, you know. I don't know. What I find more disturbing is when they talk about where some people are conceived as twins. You know, they either are fraternal twins or they are identical twins, and one of the twins develops faster and eats the other twin while in gestation. I don't know how often that happens. I don't know if that's sort of like a fluke thing. You know, I don't know if it's easy to even record. You know, like you might say, you know, if you had perfect, you know, knowledge of everything, you might say that it happens in 1 in 1,000 or 1 in 10,000 conceptions, you know, or 1 in 1,000,000 conceptions, or it might be as common as, say, 1 in 20 or 1 in 100 or something, you know. I don't know. You could have a little twin growing inside of you. Wonderful. I'm glad to hear that. I'm glad to know that as a fetus, my digestive organs were working well enough for me to eat my twin, but not well enough for him to be digested. And he grew like a little tumor inside of me. Of course, there's a lot more disturbing things than that in terms of gestation and such. Most of which I don't suggest anyone looking up, because when I was younger, I was flipping around the dials and they were talking about all the horrible things that can happen. As part of a child being conceived and it not developing properly. Aside from it possibly...
Not that you would understand the pain of losing family.
Well, you know, I just... Dad,
Right.
mom,
You
orphan.
didn't stop your sister from leaving.
My sister
And
doesn't
at
love
birth,
me right now.
You learned that your father still lived, yet you do not search for him. You've even left your own chosen friends to die. What do you know of kinship? You may play the savior to all, but you think only of yourself.
Who the fuck did I leave to die?
Friends, these are simply the trappings of custom to you.
You talking about
Your
Vice?
soul
Vice ran
touches
away.
No one.
Not my problem he ran away. I tried to save his ass a couple times. That's 2 more. That's what's so dangerous about this battle is, you know, now I've got, what is that, 4 downed units. And now it becomes like, okay, do I focus down on finishing the battle? Do I try to revive these characters? Because I do have revival stuff.